standard is playing for the national championship. And so being to 5 straight, that just means I've had a lot of really good players. I've had some great staffs that have helped get those kids ready. And so that's kind of where my expectations are. I'm going to tell you, it's a miserable way to live. You know, when you're trying to win that last one, and that's your main goal and your main focus, but it's where I'm at in my career. It's what I want. It's what I want for these kids. It's what I want for the University of Texas, and it's why I'm there.
One last question. I didn't ask you when it was in Dallas. Last time it was in Dallas, it was like a lies, and then you came back and put short in the champion.
No.
Well,
yeah, they were going to hang 100 on us too, because they already did it. I almost did it the year before. I mean, you got to remember, the year before we got beat by 60 in the Sweet 16 in Bridgeport by the same team. 365 days later, you get that same opportunity in my home state, and I had some Texas kids, Jerry McCown, Dominique Dillingham, Blair Schaefer. It was really special to be able to come home and play in Dallas on that stage, and then to be able to beat a program like that who'd had that kind of success. The thing I remember, a couple things. One, I remember obviously Morgan Williams hitting the shot. It's a shot heard around the world. Two, I remember getting into the Loews Anato Hotel that night, walking into the lobby at 1:30 in the morning. We played the late game, and we went to overtime. So we didn't even get back to the hotel till 1:30 in the morning. There were 5,000 people in the lobby waiting on my kids. The place erupted. And I thought, good Lord, y'all got to keep it down. There's people trying to sleep in here. And then I realized it didn't matter whether you were there for the Final Four or not. You were there to see the team that just ended the nation's longest win streak at 111. And that was really special. But my kids probably didn't get to bed till after 3. We had to be up the next morning at 9. And then we run into a really good South Carolina team. We just didn't, quite frankly, we just didn't have anything probably hardly left in the tank. It was an emotional win. And again, well coached, really, really good South Carolina team. So sometimes those things happen, but pretty unique time. And, for these kids right here, I'm hopeful that they may have that opportunity again. So we'll see. Thank you.
Basketball is being kind of forgotten in sports are being forgotten in that discussion.
I know that when you start talking about conferences expanding and people moving around, I think what can get lost in translation is the travel that's involved. And it's not just 4 games like football in a conference season where you might play 8. In basketball, we're going to travel probably 8-9 times, and you start transferring, going across country. That can be, to me, that's a little much. But at the end of the day, we all know what drives the engine, and the rest of us just have to find a way to adapt and figure it out.
And when it comes to NIL, do you think that that's helping recruiting women's basketball if people are making their decisions, or if that's swaying decisions at all?
I don't think we've run into it as much. I think there are people that have made decisions based on it. Don't get me wrong. I do think that's going on. I think, again, for a college athlete, there's going to be a time in your career where that's going to be important. For me, when you make a college decision, that's a 40-year decision. It's not a 4-year decision on how much money you can make in NIL in 4 years versus what that 40-year degree is going to set you up for life for. And so, but with that being said, I think these kids deserve anything we can possibly get them, and that they can earn through their name, image, and likeness. And certainly it's here to stay. So we got to find a way to adapt.
And when it comes to the tournament, I think we've seen a lot more parity in the tournament, less, a little more level playing field, more upsets, especially in the earlier rounds. And now with the transfer portal picking up, do you think that that's going to hurt that, or do you think it's going to kind of level the playing field further?
I think with the transfer portal, you're going to see more teams that have new players every year, and they're not just necessarily going to be freshmen. I think what you're going to see with the transfer portal is the day is over where that redshirt offensive lineman who redshirts, doesn't play a lot as a freshman, plays a little as a sophomore, a little more as a junior, starter as a senior, fifth-year senior, now as a first or second round draft pick. I think those days are over because they're not – everybody thinks they should play, and they should play right now. And so in basketball, we face some of the same challenges. Part of our success and my success in my career is we've been able to recruit to a fit, retain our student athletes, and develop them. And for the player that needs developing, that means staying in a program, staying with coaches, and letting them work with you over and over and over again for years, not 4.5 months. And that's the challenges that we have right now because everybody's got somebody in their ear telling them they're the next best thing since sliced bread and they need to be playing 40 minutes a game. And it's very challenging. But again, that's part of the life we're in right now.
One last question for you, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this too. So, Final Four being in Dallas this year, I know in the past we've seen discussions coming up for political reasons of maybe shifting major sporting events, like in North Carolina, they're moving away from there. And big year for women's rights, Title IX anniversary. I know Texas has been a little more controversial this year in terms of that topic. So, where do you guys stand on that? Do you think that that's going to be a topic of discussion of moving the tournament? And should we be considering that?
We understand the political landscape of the world right now. I don't think that's a topic that I think we all have our feelings about certain things politically. I don't think women's basketball or today is that platform for us to discuss that. But we all have strong feelings about what we believe is right. And when it comes to values and morals, and so that being said, whether we like it or not, that's part of the discussion when the NCAA considers who can host NCAA events. And it's not just that, it's other things as well, as you well know. So again, that's kind of above our pay grade, and we'll just kind of leave it at that.
Well, thanks, John.
Afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good to see you.
Same here. With the group you have this season, is it a start over from practice that you've had from day one up until, what was it, last night was the last time you all were on the floor together as a group? What have you seen so far with this group, particular group of girls, that says they can repeat and get to where you want them to go this year?
I just think there's a familiarity with several of our players. We have seven and seven. We have 7 returners and 7 new players, of which of those 7 new ones, 6 can play. And so I think what we see with our 7 returners is a familiarity and an ability to be a coach on the floor. So I'm not just the only one trying to tell somebody how to do something. They can not only tell them but show them. And so that always helps. I think these 3 in particular, Deanna Gaston, they know what we want to do and how we want to do it, and that helps a bunch. When they've been to the wars and know what's expected, it really helps you as a coach. So these 3, along with Deanna, all these kids have started off and on in their career, and so I think that's part of why people think so highly of us right now, to go with the 4 transfers that we signed out of the portal. I think that's where the country is, and thinking that Texas is the number 3 team in the country, we got to go prove it. And to prove it, we got a lot of work to do. We've practiced 12 days. It ain't very many. And for our 4 transfers, they've been with us 12 days. Like they weren't here any this summer. It wasn't like we got a month or two jump with them coming in this summer and working it. It's really, so we've got a big challenge in front of us, and we got a short time to get there. So again, this is a really special group. They're a great group of kids. They work really hard. They're fun to be around, and they're highly competitive. But we've got to. You won't find this group doing too much talking. We got to go walk the walk.
Now that the landscape is about to change again in the Big 12, how are you all as coaches adjusting to the new, not so much landscape, but the new scheduling setup that's about to come across?
Well, I don't know that we have this season. It'll be pretty much the same. But in the future, obviously, there's going to be a big difference. And one of the differences, Texas won't be in the Big 12 anymore, and so we'll have to go to another conference and get used to a whole new. My players will. It won't be new for me, but we'll get used to another different landscape, and that'll be fun. That'll be fine. But in the meantime, while we're here, we know we're in a highly competitive women's basketball conference. I mean, this league this year is really, really special. It's got some really, really good teams in it, and quite frankly, again, when you start looking at teams like Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa State, Baylor, I mean, those teams are all senior, fifth-year seniors. Some have sixth years. They're senior-laden teams. We have one senior, and that's Sonia, who transferred from DePaul. She's a grad transfer. Other than that, we don't have a senior on our team, and don't have very many juniors. So it's kind of, I sit here and I'm amazed by some of the talk, because we're still a pretty young group, and still trying to develop some things from a expectation standpoint, and a culture standpoint in our program. And so it's for us, we're going to put our head down and go to work. But we don't control the narrative, obviously, when it comes to conferences. We just go where they tell us to play, and that's what we're doing.
Two last questions. One, are you all playing any non-conference classics or set up with another conference before conference play starts?
So we're not having the Big 12 SEC Challenge. We do have an exhibition game that's going to be really special. A week from this coming Sunday on October 30th, we're going to play DePaul. We've gotten a special waiver from the NCAA. All the proceeds are going to go to our fellow Texans in Uvalde. And so in support of that community, we're going to help rebuild Robb Elementary and any other way we can help that community. And so we're really hoping on that afternoon, when Doug Bruno brings his fine team from DePaul to town, that we'll have 10,000 in the stands and maybe can help raise $100,000 for that community. And so we're excited about that opportunity. We're honored to have the opportunity to assist them and help them recover from that event. And so should be a great afternoon for many, many different reasons. And so we'll look forward to that day.
Now, will that game, that leads me to my last question, will that game be played in the new arena?
Sure will.
Have you all had an opportunity to, I see the looks like so as a group, how have you all looked at the new arena and are waiting to get your opportunity to not just practice, but actually play a game in it?
Yeah, we just finished our first couple weeks practicing in there, so that was really exciting. It's super nice, so seeing fans in there will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, just really grateful, one of the best in the nation. So I'm really excited for our first game. We get to run out. It's going to be something I'll never forget.
Basically what they said. Just really excited. We'll be the first ones to play in there, so that's where we'll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where we'll set some new standard. Yeah.
All right, Coach. And anything else you can think of that I hadn't asked you about that has transpired just over the last season or over the summer?
We've had a great summer. This group had a really good summer, worked really hard, and probably had one of the better summers that my teams have had in the past few years. So, I was encouraged by how hard they worked. Obviously, AMO playing on 2 USA 3-on-3 teams was a great benefit for her. And we're just, again, the addition of our 4 transfers, 54 points and 27 rebounds out of the portal. We're really hopeful for them to be able to impact our program, to go with our returners that, I have a lot of confidence in, because I've seen them do it. And so we've got to develop some chemistry really quick, and we just don't have a whole lot of time to do it because the schedule in November is a monster.
You just mentioned something, the 3-on-3 tournament. How was that this summer, and what was different that you noticed out on the floor, as far as this is not a 5-on-5, everybody's got to move, you can't stand around and wait?
Definitely different. Change of pace is different. I know we play pretty fast, but in 3-on-3, I swear it's even quicker. It's half court. You have to think really quick on your feet. It actually kind of translates into what we do here at Texas. The way we play defense, you have to be quick. So it was fun, learning experience. It was nice, like I said, because I can kind of connect the ways that we play 3-on-3 and the way we play 5-on-5. Yeah, it was a great experience.
All right. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Jerry Lee Woodley Jr., the College Sports Reporter, signing off. Thank you.